Link, most commonly known as the Four Who Were One, or simply as the Four Links, was a hero who appeared in the third chronological game of the timeline, The Legend of Zelda: Four Swords. Link was a close childhood friend of Princess Zelda, and someone the young monarch trusted completely. Such was her trust towards his green-clothed friend, that the princess asked the young Link to accompany her to the Four Swords Sanctuary, a shrine hidden deep within the woods that housed the mystical Four Sword mentioned throughout the various legends of the land, said to split the wielder into 4 copies of himself, in order to ensure that its seal, which bound the evil wind mage Vati, imprisoned long ago within the blade by a past hero, remained intact. Vati was the power-hungry Minish-born demon who threatened the land of Hyrule in the distant past, facing off against the hero of the Minish during his devilish quest to claim the light force of the Minish for his own, who was sealed years later within the Four Sword upon his return by the hero of the Four Sword after he kidnapped many beautiful girls from the many villages of Hyrule. As the duo approached the pedestal to check on the seal of the golden-handled sword, they were startled by the sword suddenly moving by itself. Something was clearly wrong. Before they could react, the princess was grabbed by a dark claw that came from above. Just as Zelda had feared, the seal of the Four Sword had weakened over time, and Vati had broken free from his prison. Vati seemed to have lost any recollection of his past life as a Minish, losing his desire to claim the powerful light force of the Minish, and instead sought to wreak havoc and bring destruction to the kingdom of Hyrule. To commemorate his return, the one-eyed demon, glaring at his captured trophy, decided he would make the young princess his bride. Summoning the power of the winds, the wind mage flew off into the sky with Zelda still in his grasp, knocking Link unconscious as he made his way to his fortress beyond the clouds, the Palace of Winds. Following this confrontation, the knocked-out hero was found and awakened by 3 small fairies. After explaining the situation to the young Link, they instructed him to wield the Four Sword and rescue the Princess of Hyrule. Determined to save his friend, Link heeded the fairies' words and pulled the Four Sword from its pedestal, which split the young hero into 4 identical copies of himself, just as it was foretold in the tales of the past heroes, with each clone having a unique style and personality, as well as each one dressing in a distinct color, one dressing in purple, another in red, one in blue, and the other in green, each color representing the 4 elements that were imbued into the blade long ago by the hero of the Minish during his quest to defeat Vati for the first time, these being the earth element, the fire element, the water element, and the wind element respectively. The fairies told Link that the great fairies that resided within the 3 corners of the world could help Link reach Vati's palace, but in order to do so, he first needed to prove his courage in order to be granted the 3 keys that opened the way to the Palace of Winds, kept safe by the great fairies themselves. The 4 Links first traveled to the Sea of Trees, a large forested area inhabited by monsters, where they would face against the Guardian of the Sea of Trees, a carnivorous 4-headed plant known as Big Man Handler. Combining their strength, the 4 heroes defeated the demonic plant and soon met with the first of the 3 great fairies, the Great Fairy of Forest, who would grant the 4 heroes with the first of the 3 keys to Vati's palace. Having obtained the first key, the 4 heroes then made their way towards the frozen caverns of Talos Cave, where they soon came across its guardian, the slug-like demon known as Derasol. Upon its defeat, the heroes were greeted by the second of the 3 great fairies, the Great Fairy of Eyes, who rewarded them with the second of the 3 keys to Vati's palace. With 1 key remaining, the 4 Links headed towards their next destination, the volcanic crater of Death Mountain, a fuming pit of fire and lava home to the Guardian of Death Mountain, the demonic fireball known as Goem. After defeating the fiery demon, the 4 Links will meet the last of the 3 great fairies, the Great Fairy of Flame, who will bestow them with the last of the 3 keys to Vati's palace. With all 3 keys at hand, the 4 Links made their way towards the floating domain of the Wind Mage. Scaling up the perilous Palace of Winds, the four links soon came face to face with the Sorcerer of Winds, who undermined both the four heroes as well as the Four Swords' power. Vati then possessed a statue of himself that stood in the center of the room, which encased the Black Demon in impenetrable armor. After a long battle with the armored Vati, the four links came out victorious, or so it seemed, as Vati reappeared again, promising to shatter the Four Sword and cast its pieces to the wind. Following an intense battle between Vati and the heroic quartet, the ensemble of links managed to seal Vati within the blade of the Four Sword once again, thus freeing Zelda from his evil grasp. Shocked to see four links before her, Zelda realized that the tales of the Four Sword were true, and wondered how his friend could return back to normal. Just then, the Four Sword gleamed with sacred light and merged the four links back into a singular form, as by defeating Vati, Link had fulfilled his destiny as a hero. The princess and the hero then returned back to the Four Sword Sanctuary and placed the sacred blade back into its pedestal, where it would keep the Wind Sorcerer sealed within its blade for years to come. And that was the 401 explained. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of future uploads. Also, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram to stay in touch. This has been Zelda Lore, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.